Right, welcome fight fans. You're here at my post-fight reaction for Christian and Mbilli versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. This took place last night in Quebec, Canada. That's obviously normal time for you Canadian fans and American fans. It was an early hour job once again for us UK fight fans. But I'm sure, like me, a lot of you guys stayed up for it because we was expecting something really great and really fucking exciting here with these two guys going up against each other. We was thinking, man, this can only deliver. This can only be a fight of the year candidate. You know, if you watch my fight preview and prediction for this, people, I was super hyped for this one. Unfortunately, nothing due to either of these fighters and how they tried to perform. It didn't quite heat up. It didn't quite live up to expectations. And that's mainly or solely, I believe, because one of these fighters, Sergey Derevyanchenko, injured his his left bicep in the third or maybe early fourth round and fought pretty much over half the fight with one arm. And even with that being the case, it was still a good fight. It was still entertaining. But it just makes you think, how great could this fight fucking have been if it had two arms throughout it. So yeah, I'm still going to give you my post-fight reaction. Of course, still going to let you know what happened. But unfortunately, it is a bit of a disappointing one because I do think this really could have been special had Sergey not have got injured. And could it have changed the outcome of the fight? I don't know. We're going to go on to discuss that in a minute. But first, I'll let you know what happened a bit round by round, let you know my scorecard, etc. I'll start by telling you the result. I'm sure you might have heard by now, or maybe you've come straight here to hear my reaction to it. And if you have, thank you for that. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe, people. But yeah, Christian and Mbilli got the decision, unanimous decision, very wide on the cards. 100 to 90, 99 to 91, and 98 to 92, which is what I had it. You maybe, I think, could have gone a round closer, lent a round more towards Sergey, like a 97, 93, and that would have been fair. I think 190 is very wide. I think Sergey definitely won a couple rounds in there, but it doesn't show the actual storyline of this fight. It was still, even though Sergey had one arm, it was competitive, and Mbilli was probably made to work harder than he's had to out of any fight in his career so far. It shows you just how good Sergey Derevyanchenko is to be at that level, even with one arm, to really make Mbilli struggle to get in and catch him and stuff. The first thing I did notice when this fight started though, and I was thinking, why is it a 10-rounder? Like, surely a big fight like this is meant to be a final eliminator to fight Canelo, or they're saying that anyway. They were saying that to hype it up. The way these two guys fight, it was going to be all action. They both got good engines. I was thinking, why the fuck ain't this a 12-rounder? They're losing a little bit there. But obviously, in hindsight, we didn't know that at the time though. Sergey getting injured, it probably saved him. Because for him to have to go an extra 2 rounds with one arm, he probably would have got stopped. But let's go back to round one, how it started. And Mbilli came at the tracks fast, as he always does. I've got my notes here, a huge right hand from Mbilli, strong pressure. Sergey was already looking a little bit like wobbly on his legs, looking like his age might be catching up with him a bit. But I think it was also because he was looking to box and move more, whereas we've seen him in his last 5 losses that have been really close losses. He's planted his feet and gone to war with his opponent. So maybe he thought, here, I can't do that against Mbilli. I'll lose again, even if it's a close fight. Let me get on and show my Ukrainian boxing skills. And he was trying to do that. But first round was definitely to Mbilli. Same in the second round. Sergey was boxing well. It was a bit of a better round for him, but he weren't putting enough on his punches. He weren't planting his feet with it. Whereas Mbilli, we know he's straight at you with the pressure. He's planting his feet, throwing huge bombs with every shot. And I do score boxing skills just as much as aggression. Sometimes I score boxing skills more than aggression, but when there's so much aggression coming from Mbilli and not enough boxing skills coming back from Sergey, not enough power in his punches, I think the first 2 rounds definitely go to Mbilli. Round 3, again, very close. Sergey was getting pushed back, but he was landing more in this round, and Mbilli was struggling to land clean. So it looked like Sergey had actually figured him out a bit here, and this could have been a turning point in the fight maybe. But as we go into round 4, it became, so obviously I gave Sergey that round. As we go into round 4 though, it became very clear that Sergey had injured his left bicep. He weren't throwing it at all. But he actually still won round 4. He threw so many right hands. He was changing the angle with it, straight rights, uppercuts, right hooks, turning southpaw, throwing it as a jab. And he was actually boxing brilliant in this round. But it was kind of like a see what I can do in this round with the right hand, but I wasn't thinking at any point, shit, he's going to win this fight one-handed, because it was clear he couldn't even lift the left bicep up like that at one point to obviously block the guard. So as soon as Mbilli realised that that's injured, he's going to loop that right hand over all night. He's going to put non-stop pressure on, because you know Sergey ain't going to be able to keep him off with that jab or get that hand up. So here I was like, fuck, it's kind of ruined the fight a bit, because the writing's on the wall from that point, unfortunately. But Sergey did box very, very well, continued through round 5, 6, 7. He was boxing well, but it was just too much pressure. And what could he do with one hand against a guy like Mbilli? I do believe he should have tried to sit down a bit more. He was kind of boxing with that right hand. I think if you're injured and you're in your last hurrah of the fight, and maybe your last hurrah of a fight throughout your career, this might be your last big opportunity. Don't try and get through the fight just boxing like that. You know you ain't going to win on the cards in your opponent's home country. But plant your feet. Don't throw as many shots, and just look to land a massive right uppercut, massive overhand right as the guy's coming in, and try and get that knockout. I think that's the tactic that might have made it look like Mbilli was dominating more, but would have gave Sergey the chance of actually winning the fight more, instead of just being clapped for hanging in there. But he is a warrior, and he does deserve to be clapped for hanging in there. But I think it was the wrong way to go. Once you got one arm, you just got to look for that one knockout shot, unfortunately. I don't know if people remember Danny Williams, that time where he dislocated his left arm and he just waited for his opponent. I can't remember who the opponent was, but he just waited to find that perfect shot, threw the right uppercut and knocked the guy out. That should have been the tactics on Sergey. He did actually hurt Mbilli, it looked like at first, in round 7. But it was actually, what angle we saw it for, it looked like he threw a body shot or like landed on Mbilli's neck or something somehow, and like Mbilli went a bit wobbly. But when they actually flipped the camera around, he threw a shot so low it actually jolted the leg of Mbilli and like slapped it backwards somehow. Fucking MMA style move. And Mbilli's leg went a bit weird for about 30 seconds, but he recovered pretty quickly. I gave round 5, 6 and 7 to Mbilli. I gave 8, 9 and 10 to Mbilli too. So the only 2 rounds I gave to Derevyanchenko actually were rounds 3 and 4. As we got into rounds 8, 9 and 10, it was clear. Fighting with one hand. Imagine throwing the right hand, even on the heavy bag. Just keep throwing that right hand all the time. You're going to get tired out. But you got a fucking unit and a train coming at you like Mbilli. He was getting super tired, but kept boxing well in rounds 8 or 9, just not enough. And Mbilli wasn't spectacular here, to be honest. He definitely found it hard to figure Derevyanchenko out. He's definitely the most stylish and technical guy, smart guy he's been in there with, but he was still winning each round clearly. Round 10, Mbilli was super sharp, suddenly just got his energy back, thought, fuck it, it's the last round, let's try and stop him. Put it on him, bashed him up, and then the last 20 seconds, fair play to Sergey again. He was throwing that right hand non-stop. He started throwing the left, even though you could see it was clearly hurting him. Went toe-to-toe for the last 20 seconds, but it was like a last hurrah to try and get the knockout, knowing that obviously you're way behind on the cards, and maybe just to show you're a warrior one more time. So yeah, that's how I had it. It finished 98-92. Mbilli was a bit reluctant to celebrate after the fight. Sergey was obviously upset, but I feel like he was actually a bit happier, the happier fighter, because he was like, he's obviously got that excuse. It's not an excuse, it's a reason why he lost the fight. Maybe he thinks he can get the rematch. Maybe it definitely seems like he's planning to come back again. Would the fight have been any different if he had 2 arms? I think it would have definitely been much more exciting. That is a fact. I think it could have been a fight of the year contender if he had both. I think he would have planted his feet a bit more and slugged it out in the last half of the fight. If he did have both arms, he would have had more energy too, not from just pumping that same shot, like digging that in over and over again. And he would have caught, obviously, Mbilli coming in more, but I still think Mbilli would have won the fight. I think he won it that clear. Competitive, I said, but clear. And I think I still, in my prediction video, had it that Sergey would throw a lot back, he'd land a lot back, but Mbilli would just be out working him and throwing them more bombs each round. So I think that is what we would have seen. Do we want to see a rematch? I don't, to be honest. I think Sergey, give him a couple of easier fights, but then I don't want to see him become a gatekeeper, so it's a hard one, really. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, and I just said it could be a brilliant fight over 12 rounds if Derevyanchenko's got 2 arms, like healthy, both not injured. But he's going to be out for like 6 months with his bicep. Then it's going to be like a 3-month training camp. So maybe they could do it down the line. But Mbilli needs to keep trying to get more top 10 fighters and that now. Obviously, he's been mandatory for Canelo for a long time now. I think Canelo beats him still, but I do think it's an exciting fight. I don't think Canelo goes there though, because Mbilli's not much of a big name at the minute, and he's a risk, and it's a really hard night's work for Canelo, even though I do believe Canelo would win. He wants them slower paced guys like Belanga now. Saying that, he did just fight Jamie Munguia before this though, who has a very good engine, is a very strong fighter. But I'd like to see Mbilli in with someone like that first. Put him in with a Munguia or a Pacheco or someone like that. Top 10 super middleweight, a Caleb Plant. If Caleb Plant wins his next fight, which he should, then if you win that, you look good in that, then you're obviously ready for the Canelo fight. So yeah, still one of the best unbeaten fighters in boxing. Still one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. Didn't have his best night here, but he'll learn a lot from that. This probably be the best learning fight he's ever had. Getting in there and just knocking people out with ease. You don't learn a lot from that. You look good, it catches fans' attention, but you don't learn a lot. He is very right hand happy. I actually said watching this, like, if he would have injured his left arm, it probably wouldn't have affected his performance at all, because all he does is throw that fucking right hand over the top. But it's working, and it was still catchy Sergey, it was still stunning Sergey, and we know Sergey's got a very good chin. Other people, it probably would have knocked out. As far as Sergey goes, he's 39 years old in October. He's had a really good career. He's a warrior. He hasn't won a world title. He's lost 6 out of 21 fights, but his resume doesn't tell the story of how good of a fighter he is. I'd like to see maybe him just wait around, like, in the next 9 months or so to a year, when he's going to be injured anyway, those belts could get fragmented. Canelo obviously has been stripped to the IBF. He might vacate the others if he goes up to light heavyweight or something like that. He might not want to stick around at super middleweight all the time. He might retire, who knows. Them belts that he's got could get fragmented. He could go and get like a Pacheco or something like that for a world title shot and have one last go at it. I'd like to see that. I'd love to see him win a world title before he retires. I think he's probably the best fighter of this era that hasn't won a world title. So yeah, I feel for him. He's just been unlucky, man. He was a very unlucky here once again. Not on the scorecard this time, but by injuring his left arm. But it's boxing, man. It's a cruel fucking sport sometimes. But we love it as fight fans. They love it as fighters. That's why they keep getting in there and doing it. Yeah, that's it for me, people, on this one. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. There's many more post-fight reactions for all the fights coming up that you'll be able to see. They'll land either straight after the fight or the day after the fight all the time. Prediction videos for all the fights, news videos, rankings, all of it, debates, all of it. If it happens in boxing, I'll be talking about it. So yeah, subscribe if you're a boxing fan, people. Thank you.